Okay, so on page 1 in your pamphlet, I believe it's on page 1, the elements of occultism can be traced. Now, there's a few words here, and I want you to pay attention to the word energy and life force as we look down this, I believe it's on page 1 in that little pamphlet that you have there. But the elements of occultism, where do we trace it back to? First, monism. That it teaches that man and the universe are part of the same universal energy or life force. Now, all these terms deal with all of the occults. Some of them would focus in on one or two, but all of them are involved in these various different teachings here. Pantheism teaches that God, or a divine energy, now notice I have a goddess there also, so because some cults believe in the goddesses, in fact mostly all of them do, God and goddesses. God is not a man, some of them teach he's a woman, others teach he's just this life energy force. See? And then some of them address that life energy force and he's using the feminine gender in their system, depending on what system it is. It's very complex because, like I said, there's no organization. So one group may say God is a woman, this group say God is a man, this group says God is nothing but neither one or both as being a life force or energy. So depending on who you talk to is how you're going to have to deal with it from that point. Okay, pantheism says that God is a divine energy that permeates the universe. We are all part of this divine force. There is no or little differentiation between humans and nature. In other words, all is God, God is all. We're all one in God. See, this here pantheism. God is everything, and everything is God. There's no distinction between us and nature. Pantheism, number 3, creation is part of God. God is contained in creation. In other words, pantheism, let's look at it this way. You got a little distinction between the two, because they seem like they're saying the same thing. Pantheism says that God is everything, and everything is God. This is all of creation. God is in creation. Everything is God. God is everything. Pantheism says that God encompasses everything. Everything is God because God encompasses everything. There's a slight difference between the two. Polytheism, number 4. There are many gods, many manifestations of the one God or goddess. Syncretism, combination of beliefs. Sometimes Christianity is mixed with occult, New Age, or Eastern beliefs. You find that in the Word of Faith movement. The occult often uses Christian phrases or concepts. They love Jesus. The occult loves Jesus. And they tell you that they love Jesus. But when you ask them who Jesus is, it's all different thing when you narrow it down on what they're saying, what you're saying. They won't run when you say Jesus. See? Number 6, animism, that the earth and objects are by spirits or energy forces. Okay? In other words, animism says that the earth and all the objects in the earth have a life force or spirit within them. This is what you find a lot in the Indian cultures, that they know that the spirit of the bear, the spirit of the eagle, and so forth. That is that life force, that energy that's in them, that's alive. All of us have that. So everything is energy. Number 7, in occultism. Magic is the manipulation or an alteration of energy through one's will, the use of rituals, through the use of rituals and inclinations. Everything is energy around us. And the use of magic is to manipulate that energy. There is no absolute reality in occultism, or truth or morality. Truth is in a subjective experience. There's no absolute truth in occultism. Now, how did occultism get where it is today in this country? There's some focal points throughout history that just jumped out at us in history that we can see, because it wasn't always that way in this country. It was in the 19th century that Spiritism spread throughout Europe and in America, in the middle 19th century, excuse me. In this country, I don't know if you ever heard of the Fox sisters from Hyattsville, New York, in 1848. The Fox sisters, three sisters, said that they heard a rapping, and they began to communicate with that rapping. This is what they said. They began to communicate. These three girls started a movement in this country of Spiritism. Now they weren't the only ones, but this is the main ones that jump out at you in history. These three girls, they were to travel all over the country with the help of T.P. Barnum. With the help of him, and gave seances and told people what these rapping sounds were saying and so forth, and it just exploded this country without interest in the occult and in Spiritism. That it changed the culture of this country. Just like in our lifetime, we can point to certain things that just change the mood of this country, the way it is. Let's say hip-hop music or the rap thing, everybody's doing it. It just changed the thing of this country. Well, this is what happened back in 1848 with these Fox sisters. And that led this country begin to move toward it. And then other people began to jump on the bandwagon. For example, as they moved into the 20th century, Arthur Ford, who was a psychic, a great well-known psychic, John Edwards wrote a book. He also had a TV show, Crossing what? Over. It was his TV show, John Edwards. He also was a psychic. And what about right now as we move into our time? The TV. The TV. I looked at one channel, and I found just these. The Psychic Kids, Paranormal State, Paranormal Cops, Paranormal Activity, Ghost Whispers, Ghost Hunters, Ghost International, Ghost Academy. What does that tell you? That tells you that there is an unhealthy interest in what? The occult. All these shows were on the Sci-Fi Channel. And the thing about them, only one of them, Ghost Whisperers, was like a regular movie thing. But the others were reality shows. Then they were there hunting ghosts. They're telling you this is real. And they're actually hunting ghosts. Paranormal State, that all these paranormal things that take place are our friends, and we need to really get into this. This is the overall thing that comes at us, and just every day we're hearing it and we're seeing it in one form or another. Whether we recognize that's what is said, what is being said. We need to keep our eyes and mind on something was on TV today. What was that on TV today that I spoke? Y'all told me to be quiet. What was that today? Because I would walk in the room, TV on, somebody say something, I'm going to say, oh, that's a cult, or that's this or that. What it was. They jumped out. They were trying to watch something, I said, it was.
They don't listen to you.
But let's look at the kingdom of darkness right quick. The kingdom of darkness. The dimension of darkness. There is a dimension of darkness. A dimension is a realm of reality. Okay? Did you understand? A dimension is a realm of reality. This is the dimension of earth that we live in. And this dimension is that we are governed by our five senses. In this dimension. Our five senses are smell, taste, sight, sound, and touch. We are governed by our five senses in our dimension of reality. But there is a dimension of heaven, where God speaks of God at, a dimension of heaven, a dimension of hell, and these are real dimensions. And then there's a dimension of spiritual darkness. that is controlled by Satan.